Hello, wherever you are, whenever you are. I've been feeling so wonky today. I had like a conversation with one of my best friends last night about potential of like the next chapter of life and living for me and what that might look like and how it feels like it might be very different than previous chapters and might take me who knows where. A lot of different things, including the location that I live in and possibilities of really big move, either temporary or for a pretty extended period of time. Um, what I love is that the way in which I'm building a practice with you would be sustainable wherever it is I go. Um, I've been really wanting to shift to predominantly online ways of showing up in my life to have a feeling of self-agency, self-containment, clarity of being kind of in control of my own communication and how I want to show up in the world. So it feels really, bittersweet, I would say, the more I lean into the potential sustainability of what it is I've been finding here with you. Some of us who've spent the majority of our lives really running away or towards away from or towards something. When you start to connect with aspects of life and living that feel consistent, content, and just really good, it can be a lot of things. It can feel like a relief in many ways, but it can also feel like it brings up a lack of understanding of like, oh wow, I've never been to this space before, and like a breathing in of like how different and new things can feel. But anyways, I don't want to talk too much before we get into our writing session, but I just kind of wanted to put that into space. We'll do our 3 pages stream of consciousness, entering and exiting together. Here we go. Have your little drink if you want one for co-regulation. I have some sparkling water today with some lemon inside. And got my journal. Got you guys. Go ahead and take a deep breath in and release. Again, deep full breath in. Release. One more. And wherever you're at, whatever arises, just go with that. Put it onto page. 3 pages. Yeah, 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 yeah. Dun, 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 dun. We are dun, 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 dun. Okay, go ahead as always. Push pause if you're not done. Come back to this once you are. If you ever finish before me, just a little meditation, being with yourself is always a good thing to do. But for now, I'll assume we're back together again, and go ahead and take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Again in through the nose, out through the mouth. One more nice deep full breath. Release. How you feeling? You feeling good? I'd love to know 3 words about how your body's feeling right now, either by leaving it in the comments or writing it down in your journal or speaking it out loud. But take a moment to just feel into that. 3 words or states of feeling, being, experiencing going on in you right now. I am feeling a little sad in my heart. I am like wanting to be held or some sort of comfort. Like this physical touch feels really nice. It's a connection, like a willingness to connect, I guess. And you know, the air just feels really clear to me right now. So if you're just staying with me for the writing session, then I wish you a very happy rest of your day. Enjoy whatever it is you're getting into, and I'll see you next time. If you are sticking around for the reading of the pages and the processing of them from my personal practice, then I welcome you to stick around. I will be also sharing them likely on social media somehow. And I'm still finding my structure there, how I do that. Whether I do lives on both Instagram and Facebook, where and when I record and share on YouTube, and how that works, and why, where, when, why, there. But what I do know is at least my experience of sharing on Instagram or Facebook Live versus here in this pre-recorded, like patron only experience, is that something about the processing of it feels a little bit different. It feels a little more intimate, more insular. I'm recording these posts, I'm recording these writing sessions in advance. So when you see this, it will likely be after my day of recording. So that I can build a little and you as creatives too, this is helpful to build a way to accomplish some of your work ahead of time. So I'm thinking of this as if I do a writing session a week on Patreon, and I record a bunch of these at a time, I could potentially set up a way of having having as many future classes as I want out there. since this does feel like a sustainable practice, at least right now, that I'm wanting to show up into. So I'm going to kind of breathe into that and let that kind of funnel its way onto Patreon, because of, as a very sensitive person, sometimes I go through phases and cycles where I'm like very productive and feeling in line or in tune with the project. And then I go through phases where like I really feel like my nervous system gets fried and I have to retreat back into myself. And so I kind of want to prepare for that, pre-plan for that. And this is a way that I'm attempting to do that. And it feels pretty good. So we'll see how things continue to go and grow and all of that business. But here are my pages. Today where I am, it's August 29th, 2021. I feel the soft core of what I want to be with. A being with the connecting sense of home. I have been practicing returning home to myself over and over again. A measured way, a hidden path, a fondness for fortune's sake, and a muscle home. The lighter days are coming, the tender times await. To see my friends become mothers and tend to their homes is starting to feel like a pace of life I want to lead as well. At least on my own, tending to the needs of my own inner child. She feels held here. She feels comfort in her own home, a test of gratitude perhaps. Either way, a kind of surrendered mind. The wash of it all comes together calmly, and sometimes things just sink. I want and feel the breath of it all, the kind comfort of my own heart. The stable things connect to stable ways forward, and a path of constant connection is not needed. I do so find the core of my heart and body. My mind feels dismissive of this experience as I write. I feel it stonewall and shut us out. I wonder what to do in this situation. Be the brain and express from within the fortress it seems to have walled up between us. Lose touch with myself. Or speak to the brain and see what it wants, needs, and how it is interpreting this experience. The latter. Yes, yes. I shall retain my own awareness and speak to the brain. Here we go. Dialogue, inner dialogue. Me, hello, brain. Brain, go away. Me, I hear you want me to go away. Brain, that's right, that's right. I said go away. Me, I want to respect your boundaries and needs, yet we are both within Marissa's experience. I would like to find a way to communicate and hear what is going on for you. Are you open to that right now? Side note, because I was doing my somatic attunement. Since Pages and Process is much about somatic attunement and then stream of consciousness writing from there. So in my somatic attunement, my awareness of what was happening in my body, this little note I wrote, so it's not just the voices, but I felt brain soften as I was writing that last passage. Become interested, but then wall back up right away. Almost like brain caught itself being vulnerable and was like, nope. Yeah. So what that was that I had said was, I want to respect your boundaries and needs, yet we are both within Marissa's experience. I would like to find a way to communicate and hear what is going on for you. Are you open to that right now? So that's where that was like, oh, you respect me? Oh, we are both in her body. Oh, you want to find a way forward together? What do I think? Oh, walls, right? But I saw and experienced and heard in my inner somatic parts, attunement and awareness, what happened, which was that brain kind of softened, got interested, but then noticed it was vulnerable and went back up. So brain says, I feel left behind. From back behind the little wall, but not as fortressy and angry as last time. Me, I say. I hear that you feel left behind. And I see that in response, walls might feel right to you. Is that right? Brain, yes, that's right. I don't want to be left behind. So if I lock you out there, so if I lock you out there, I won't have to face the fact that you don't want me to come where you're going. Me, I hear that you feel left out, and the action that helps you feel most in control is to shut us out. Did I hear that right? Brain, yes. Yes, that's what I'm doing. Because I have to be able to control if I'm going to be of service. There's something wiggly coming up in Marissa's feelings as I say this. Do you feel it too? So in my body, as I said that, I like was feeling all sorts of other somatic experiences. And I say, yes, yes, I feel it. Shall we introduce ourselves and see what is emergent there in that experience? Brain says, okay, but I don't think it likes me, whatever the experience was. Me, hello, wiggly emotions. To what do we owe this meeting? And it was very clear right away that it was anger or angry. So I just wrote that as the name, the character. And anger says, I feel very upset about the way Brain is talking about control. Brain does not own me. Why is he trying to control us? Brain, I'm not trying to control you. I'm trying to control my experience in this situation. Me, anger, I hear you are frustrated because it sounds like Brain is trying to control you. Is that right? Anger, yes. Yes, it really upsets me. I have a very strong and heated response to those words. Words being what Brain had said before, that Brain is trying to control, because if it doesn't have control, Brain won't be of service. So anger says, I have a very strong heated response to those words. Me, I feel you, because I did. I felt that anger run through my body. Nobody likes being controlled, and your feelings make a lot of sense. They do to me, because I have a history of rage running through my body when I feel like something or someone is trying to control or manipulate or gaslight my experience. Anger, yes, they are warranted, meaning those feelings. Me, yet, Brain, I hear that your intention is not to control anger and Marissa's emotions. However, you are trying to gain some coping abilities in your own perception. Is that right? Brain, yes. Yes, I feel very unsafe and need more framework. Walls have structure and solidity, so they help me feel better when I feel lost, left behind, or out of control. Anger, I don't like your walls, but I hear how you think they help you. Brain, they do help me. They are solid. I need something firm to feel right now. Me, I hear you. It's good to know the why behind the action. It helps navigate this together. More structure and solid framework without quote unquote controlling emotionality. Oh, brain. So I'm finding lately, at least, I don't know if this will continue to be the kind of work that continues to happen in my development of my own pages and process, but it certainly has been thematic in between phases of my journaling practice, my stream of consciousness practice, where when I attune to my body, when I'm really listening to parts of myself and being in like a good, healthy kind of relationship where I'm not being reactive to what's coming up, but I'm sort of mirroring back what it is that I'm hearing, sensing, feeling non-judgmentally, and then asking questions. Asking for consent, asking for clarity, asking for a reflection back of whether or not my reflection is accurate, and then going from there if more clarity is needed or not. And so these tools that I'm using in how I'm actually, because they are tools that I've learned, the way I'm communicating as me to my feelings or to my brain or to my anger in this particular passage, like I'm using communication tools and communication structure that is known to help garner connection between activated experiences of either within oneself or between two people. So like conflict, navigation, or
whatnot. I don't know. Does that make sense? I think that, I mean, it makes sense to me. Does that make sense to you? I would love to know. In your um, your expression. Go ahead and take a deep breath in with me because clearly I need to move something through my body. Deep breath in. Exhale. Nice open chest if that feels right to you. And heart, deep full breath. Feeling the chest space, exhale. And one more deep full breath. And release. That feels like all that wants to be processed today. I think I'm getting more clarity on sort of like how to lightly show up here, how to process, how to be in connection with you, how to not potentially overshare my experience. Or when I'm moving through stuff, at least connecting and communicating with myself in a way that feels like not too much, like not too much of an overshare, not too vulnerable, so that I don't have like a vulnerability hangover afterwards. Because sometimes that can happen when we're sharing ourselves or a process or a practice, is that you can almost express or reveal more than you were ready for, and then you have to like recover from it. It's almost like being hungover from the disorientation of sharing or experiencing something you haven't before in that way, or that you haven't in a long time, or that feels precious to you and maybe is a little too much to navigate your own needs in the moment or moving forward. Yet at the same time, as long as you can like recuperate and you are able to kind of hold yourself in witness and you have been authentically communicating, there's, I find, often a lot of resiliency that naturally comes into play if and when we decide to stretch that vulnerability muscle and have it be kind of like a muscle where it might be kind of weak at first. We might have to do some reps, and we might have to start with light weights, and we might have to be very cautious and rest in between, right? So we don't pull something. And then get deterred from ever coming back and trying it again. Because sometimes when we do too much, too soon, too fast, that can be from trauma. And then we get stuck in that loop and then we can't get out. But I would like for us to continue to find healthy ways to journal and practice and create with stream of consciousness, creativity, like that sort of place where you're not judging yourself and you're letting yourself express. And you'll start to feel how you get to know your self-expression, and you get to know different ways of showing up to that, different voices that might be present, different inner parts. Maybe you have an inner artist, an inner poet, an inner child, an inner tyrants, right? It's there's a million and myriad of different inner parts that you can sort of archetypally connect with, and or just like feel sense somatically into, and have it even be like a body part, or like a tingling sensation, or like the clarity of an emotion, or the understanding that it's someone else's voice from your past. You know, maybe it's your ex's voice, or it's your mother's voice, or it's your grandfather's voice, or whatever that is. And sometimes those voices hold great wisdom. Sometimes they're in a trauma state, and we can help heal cycles of pain that are inside our bodies, inside our families and communities, by learning new ways to connect and communicate with those parts that are maybe not showing up in the healthiest of ways, and find ways for the underneath of their experience, those unmet needs, to be seen, held, witnessed, and then modifying our own behavior in our lives, and how we're showing up, how we're the kind of choices that we're making to cultivate a container for ourselves that helps heal the wounded parts of our inner states. So that's that. Love you. I'll see you next time. Bye.